shells tonight at practice or today at practice. We got a lot of reps. It was very physical. I told our players at the end of practice it's going to give us a lot of good information. As far as evaluation, I mean, the first 2 days, just helmets only, you can only evaluate and see so much. But when you start getting into shoulder pads and helmets and everything, you can really evaluate guys. And I just told them they're competing every day. We did have 3 groups, so we had a lot of reps and got a lot of good information from practice. Any questions?
You said you got 3 groups, talking about first, second, third team.
Yeah. We left spring with trying to have a 2 deep type rotation, and then those young guys, we feel like they need a lot of reps, and so we can properly evaluate them. And so a little different than normal, but it was good.
Were the quarterbacks all able to get time with that first group?
I don't believe all of them were, but I know Coach Lashley tried to rotate them at least with a different group that they've been working with. They've just been working with the younger guys, and I know that both of them rotated with older guys and trying to mix and match and see how they react.
Any separation there at the
when you have a whole lot of reps and you're going quick, there's some good, but until you can really just get in the film room and see things. But like I said earlier, all positions you can evaluate them a lot better. Once you get shelled on, quarterback's no different.
What about lines of scrimmage? I know it's kind of a start with them when they put the shoulder pads on for the first time. How'd that look today?
I thought there was it was pretty physical. They were getting after it up front, and there's nothing like that first day of getting after it and getting back in the swing of things. And there was a few mistakes, but at the same time, I think for the most part we had some guys being fairly aggressive up front.
Offensive line, how's that kind of progressed? Because it looks like kind of the same group been working a little bit together. So
and Coach Grimes is trying to rotate some guys in and give them a chance too. I think we'll have a chance to have some depth, which is always good. And we're just trying to identify who they are and where they stack up.
How does your right tackle position look like right now? I know Patrick ended the fall, but now there's more competition. Avery's back. I mean, who's the guy right now at right tackle?
Of course, Pat left spring, in that spot, and he's still doing a solid job. Avery's a very good player, and Sean Coleman, we've been mixing and matching at right and left tackle. So I know the first day or so it looked like they were all at right, but they're also going back at left too.
Is that competition pretty wide open for the starting job on the right side?
I would say all positions are pretty wide open, until we get a week or so down the line.
Gus, is there any positions where you're maybe experimenting, moving a guy from a different place that he played in the spring?
We've got a couple of receivers that we're trying to look at, at different spots. And then some of the guys up front, like we just talked about, with the tackle. Defensively is pretty much, all intact.
You don't move anybody over to the side of the HVAC today?
No.
How many of the receivers you said Javon knows all 4. How many of the receivers can kind of play extra spots?
The older guys, Quan Bray's been in the system for a long time. I mean, those are the 2 guys that have been the longest. And they understand it, they understand why, and you can put them in different positions and they can execute.
You spoke about mishaps at the quarterback spot the first day, and Josh Holby said he had a pick yesterday, I guess, at Jonathan Wallace. Any turnover issues today?
Well, I think anytime you have a lot of plays, there's always going to be turnovers when you rotate 4 quarterbacks. So it's just a matter of, protecting the football, making good decisions. And we're trying to put these quarterbacks in a lot of different situations. And so there's a lot of plays. And, there's some good and some bad. But that's to be expected when it's that type of setting.
Gus, you talked about making the quarterback decision sooner rather than later. 3 practices in, do you still feel like you can make that decision sooner?
Well, I hope so. It's too early right now. After each practice, you try to figure out each position. If you played today, who would it be? You gather information more and more at every position. Who I can't, but it's way too early for me to be able to stand up here and tell you that we're going to be able to make it, earlier rather than later. That's the best case scenario. That's our goal, but we're going to be for sure.
Maybe one of the few things that you can tell in just the first couple of days of camp, obviously, is who the leaders are going to be on the field. Who have you seen step up just at the start of camp and take over that leadership role in the field?
Well, really it's kind of the same guys that we left spring as far as leader, because you got to understand, we're straining them, and it's hard to be real vocal when we're practicing at the pace we are. Reese Dismukes and Jay Prosh on offense, they're still vocal, and of course Justin Justin Garrett. And I think those guys in the back end, like Chris Davis, I mean, there's some really, good leaders over there too.
How deep is the competition at linebacker? It seems like there's a lot of guys kind of in that mix.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of competition, which is good. But, you know, linebacker's a position that, you know, once you get scrimmage and you play tackle football, you can evaluate a little bit better.
Any update on Demetrius there?
Didn't practice, but he's getting better.
How are you rotating in that safety spot right now for now?
Boy, I tell you what, we've got a handful of probably 7 to 8 guys that are, you know, Holsey still back there and doing a good job. And then, of course, these young guys that we got coming in with, also with King, our junior college player that we got. They're all rotating and, you know, getting a lot of reps. So,
As Justin Garrett, I know he had a great spring. Is he just kind of carried that momentum into the start of camp here?
yeah, I think so. He's got a lot of confidence, and I think that position fits him well.
Now that you have the 3 new incoming receivers, the freshmen on board, does the way you look at CJ change? Because I know originally he was looked at as a wide receiver and he spent more time on the inside as a tight end, but now that you have the luxury of those 3 new bodies, do you move him more to the outside?
Well, he's doing a little bit of both. I mean, we have him standing up, we have him putting his hand down. He's very flexible. He gives us a lot of flexibility with our offense. He's also got experience playing H-back. So we're just trying to evaluate all of our guys. We're trying to mix and match. And, you know, once we figure out our plan, you know, moving forward, you know, and like I said, hopefully that'll happen soon.
What do you like out of your H-back? I mean, what's a prototypical Gus Malzahn H-back?
You know, somebody that can do it all. You know, somebody that can block and catch. And that's a position that you know, you got to have some football savvy smarts to you also.
Anything else? Just talk about tomorrow, and then you get the full pads on
Yeah.
Tuesday, what you're expecting out of this guy
Yeah,
before you get that scrimmage.
Sure, tomorrow will be a similar practice than it was today, maybe a few different situations, but it'll be set up fairly the same. And of course, the first time we can put the ball down and tackle, I mean, that'll be telling.
You said the first 2 days you split it up so that the older guys could go in first and show the younger guys the way, kind of. How did they respond to that, the younger guys? How did they respond
Well,
to that?
we you know, we put some of the young guys in with older guys, see how they react. I mean, I think that's always good.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you.